Many men wish death upon me, and I'm gonna take your life away. King of the goddamn hill. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're here with another Power Book 4 review. It is only episode 2 of season 1. But by God, I'm liking this show. I'm really digging Tommy Egan out in Chicago. We kick off the episode. He's scrolling through his phone. We are seeing Lakeisha. It's sad. We see this bar get shot up. I'm kind of confused by who it is. Tommy then receives a phone call. Turns out it's his brother. It's his brother, JP. And turns out this guy has a son, then left his wife. Then he turned out to be gay. And because of that, his wife didn't let him see the son for like the past 14 years. Tommy tries to throw him 10 grand, but he doesn't really accept it. But then he eventually accepts. So yeah, we learned a bit about this guy. First 5 minutes, we find out a lot. He has a son, he's gay, and we'll see how it goes. Tommy is then driving, and then my world comes crashing down not long into this episode. We kick off. We go to Walter Flynn. I'm hearing on the test results, I'm like, oh shite. And it doesn't look good. Looks like he's going to die soon. Which, damn. I mean, I kind of wanted him to be a proper badass. And I'm not saying he ain't a badass, but, you know, most people that get terminal illnesses aren't proper badass. Like, as much as I like Walter White, and he was badass in parts, it's not like he was this... I know he gives it the whole, say my name. But when it comes to, like, a physical, combattery, you know, mode, the guy just doesn't really have what it takes, Walter White. And that's not me saying that Walter Flynn's smoking him here, but... You know, doesn't look good for him. And he tells his son that you're going to live long, brother. You're going to do it. And something else that kind of shocked me this episode is when the two siblings of Flynn, the Flynn siblings, were talking. It turns out they're Irish, which doesn't bother me, right? But it's like Tommy Flanagan here is speaking pretty much what he sounds like in real life and what he was in Sons. He's not Irish, he's Scottish. Now, you could argue, if we really want to go down that road, he is from Easterhouse in Scotland. This is the Tommy Flanagan, by the way, so it doesn't really make much sense. But, you know, a lot of Scottish people are of Irish descent. But it's just weird that he wouldn't alter his accent to be more Irish when that's what the show's portraying him. Like, I get it. It's more of the American dream. It's more of the gimmick for it to be Irish people that go to America. We know how many of them went. I mean, Tommy's part Irish. But would it not be a bit more unique if they just portrayed them as Scottish rather than Irish? I've got no real issue with it. It's just the fact that when you are from the UK, the accents are, you know, they're all different no matter where you go. I get that Ireland ain't a part of the UK, yada yada yada, but it's not like they clearly stated he's Irish, and that's the problem with his girlfriend who Tommy banged last episode. They want to keep the bloodline pure, apparently, so that's not looking too good there. So that was a wee bit disappointing to hear that he's going to die, and he's also Irish, but here, I still enjoy my Tommy Flanagan, I'm not going to complain. But meanwhile, we've got the brothers on the outside here. Trying to recruit some young boys. Is it going to go according to plan? Who knows? This woman then attacks Tommy out of nowhere. I have no idea who she is. It turns out that she's like the former, like, I don't know, like boyfriend of Julio. But I honestly don't remember this woman. And then later on in the episode, we hear Tommy like reference like, Ghost's generosity was always coming back to bite us in the ass. Because of, like, you know, and it did. I mean, a lot of people they spared it did, but I do not remember this woman getting spared. But she does point out that Julio gave her money and she then fled to Chicago. And here, I've just reviewed Par. I honestly cannot remember this woman for the life of me. So anyway, let's just move on. I mean, maybe there'll be a more important scene here, but yeah. That was quite intriguing, to say the least. Tommy then shows up with the money into the barber shop. But then he decides to go where our main man, the prison guy, has just been released. But then they get kidnapped by the cartel here, and it's like, right, you got to deliver us, you got to get us all our money, or else that's it. We then see Walter essentially bury his daughter here because she wants to try and, you know, explore with new drugs, and he's like, it's fucking dependable. Why are you so fucking bothered about the streets? Your brother runs them, no you. like this stuff. We basically see Tommy and his new best friend. It kind of reminded me of like Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. You've got like Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson here. That's what it kind of reminded me of at the end of the day. But I thought this was funny. They do all their meets. Then they meet with like some car enthusiasts, so to speak. They meet with a couple of Jews. They then meet with this junkie guy. Tommy manages to get the money, but then the last one, which was I believe the junkie one, police officer pulls over. Well, he's already parked, and he's like, "You do realize you're on your phone, right?" And this is obviously like Parr's attempt at racial profiling here. Again, I'm not denying this doesn't go on in America, right, to some degree, but it's like the way the guy changes his tone with Tommy and this guy. It's like, yeah, I get it. It has happened in the past. No one's denying that. And I'm not saying this is woke, but the guy's like, even in 15 years, it doesn't fucking change. And you know what, right? At the end of the day, both of you guys are criminals. And you know what? He treated this guy way worse than Tommy. And yeah, it was racist for this cop, right? But what I liked throughout this episode, it was the fact they shown how bad Chicago is, like how hot the city is, and like the constant sirens that were going off throughout this episode and shootings. I thought it was quite incredible. But let's not kid ourselves. If cops can't be vigilant in Chicago, where can't they be? But obviously, he wasn't really vigilant towards Tommy. So, that's where the racism comes into it here, I guess. Meanwhile, though, they've kidnapped Bernard. They've kidnapped Bernard. Not good. So that's why they need to make the money matter here. They meet with him. They get their brother back. Life's all good. And Tommy gets 25 G's. He then goes over to his brother's house. They watch an old tape. And he's like, I could never figure out who this kid was. Turns out it's you. Which I thought was a nice wee scene. We then cut to Tommy. He then kills, the people that kidnapped the guy earlier. Quite incredible. He then texts Gloria. He burns him alive in the back of the car. I thought it was a pretty badass kill. He then goes to Gloria's bar, and as the Flynn son is watching him through the window, so he's not too impressed. Then at the end of the episode, he lets the barbershop crew know that he's dealt with that wee loose end, so to speak, and then he confronts, what's her name, Luciana? I actually do not know what her name is. He confronts her at the end after he buys himself like a wee house, work place, I don't know, whatever you want to call this. He starts looking at the map. He then confronts her. They get into a fight. And then that's when he mentions Ghost. And then he tries stamping on her, and stamping on her, he breaks a floorboard. And what does he find? Drugs. And he's like, well, would you look at that? And that ends the episode. Is he going to work with her? Potentially. But I honestly, for the life of me, cannot remember this woman, which is quite bad considering, I've watched Parr and season 1 of Ghost and this all within 6 months. So anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Go give us episode 7 out of 10. Until next time. Peace.